Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we are playing with some of the new cards from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Specifically, we're playing Dimir Spirits and trying out this Abandoned Attachments card. This is kind of a new Tormenting Voice. Discard a card, draw two. But there's a lot of interesting things about it. It's an instant, it has a lesson card, but one of the most notable things, interestingly enough, is that it is a hybrid blue-red mana, which means we don't actually need red mana to cast it. We can play it in a blue-black deck. And so we're playing the Spirits deck, the Eidolon, Entropic, and Enigma Eidolon deck, where we're getting a bunch of value by discarding these cards. And obviously Abandoned Attachments works well because it discards a card to draw two, and these return to your hand whenever you cast a multicolored spell, and by casting an Abandoned Attachments, we can return them to hand. This is also the first discard and draw two in blue, which means that we also now have the ability to do the old sneaky snacker trick by just discarding it to the attachments, returning it right away because we draw our second and third card. So we're doing Dimir Spirits, and the other things that we have for this deck, Shipwreck Sifters is a payoff for discarding spirits, which is great with the Eidolons. So when it enters, you draw and then discard, and then it grows every single time you discard one of them. And then we also have Vampire Hounds, which allows you to discard a creature card to get +2/+2, seeing as we can return these over and over with various spells. Like we could discard them all to the Hounds to give it +2, 4, 6, and then Attachments is an instant, so we can actually cast this at instant speed, return all of them, and then grow it even more. We also have Dahada's Ploy, which works really nicely. Draw two, then discard a card, and you can also jumpstart it. So you can discard an Eidolon as the jumpstart cost, immediately bring it back to your hand with the Dahada's Ploy, and then discard it again. And we have a couple Agony Warps, nice removal spell, and Combat Trick that also is multicolored, so it's going to bring back the Eidolons. And then obviously we're just kind of Dimir mid-range, so we're playing Brainstorm and Lorien Revealed as card draw and fixing and stuff like that, and cast downs and counter spells as our removal. And I really wanted, after I played this last time a couple weeks ago, I really wanted to try a Last Rites in the main deck. We have so many cards that we're happy to discard, so if we just have a Last Rites on turn 3 and just have like 2 or 3 Eidolons, a Sneaky Snacker that we're happy to discard, we can take our opponent's entire hand and fill our graveyard at the same time. So we're trying one of those in the main, one in the side. We also have, obviously, some aquifers, swamps, islands, and some escape tunnels, which can make our Vampire Hounds unblockable. And it can also just fetch, which can clear our Brainstorm or, I guess thin our deck. Not that that's a big thing we're really trying to do. But, so that's the deck. Sideboard, I guess you can't actually see here because of my chat. So, Dispel, Blue Elemental Blast, Arms of Hadar, another Last Rites, Suffocating Fumes, couple Extracted Confession, Duress, and some Nile Spell Bombs. So let's just jump into a league and see how we do. Make sure this is the right deck. Okay, yep, Dimir Spirits. Let's go for it. Also, Ben subscribed. Ben Fraley resubscribed with Prime for 3 months in a row. Thanks for that, Ben. And Dimir Spirits, let's go. Hell yes. I'm looking forward to trying it out. Obviously, we tried this deck a couple weeks ago, and now just got a brand new card that looks pretty sweet for it, so I'm pretty excited. And while we're not playing Raven's Crime in this deck, Last Rites operates very much as a Raven's Crime, but a little better for this deck because we want to discard non-land cards. So, Ben, we'll still, in spirit, be getting our crime on. Makes total sense. Yeah, exactly. Don't think about it too hard, and it's great. Just squint, exactly. Yeah. That's what I like to hear. Playing Paper lately. I'm going tonight with a brew. I think it'll be fun. So I've been going to... We have a every other week Saturday event, and then every other week on the opposite week Friday event. So went to the Friday one last week, played Black Sack, went 3-0. Pretty nice. And we have a big tournament coming up on Saturday here in just a couple of days that I'm looking forward to. What brew are you thinking about playing? I think this hand is reasonable enough. We'll keep it. Golgari Sacrifice nonsense? Nice. Is it like Black Sack, but splashing for Rancor and Biograph and stuff like that? Or... Ooh, we just drew the attachments, so I could just turn 2 Snacker here. Looks like we're against Gardens, probably. Turn 2 Snacker seems pretty good. I could hold up a counter spell, but what are they really going to cast that matters? Nice. Lembus. Groff, Evo Witness, Implemented Ferocity, Sadistic Glee, Marauder. Nice. Yeah, sounds sweet. So I could Last Rites for 5. It's not the worst idea ever. I think we'll probably just wait a couple turns. We don't have a ton of cards we want to discard here. Like Ploy, we can still cast from our graveyard, but everything else is kind of fine. Spellbomb's honestly really annoying. Is that something I want to counter? Kind of. We are a graveyard deck. Yeah, I guess I will. I would rather save the counter spell for Monarch or something, but yeah, it does kind of seem bad. I think it at least I like it at least, so hopefully I'll have fun. Fun to play off-meta stuff. Yeah, I totally agree. I am a huge fan of playing off-meta stuff. We got an Eidolon, so I could ploy here, just bring back, or discard the Eidolon. I can get it back later. I don't have to do that at instant speed. I think we'll just play a plains, not a plains, an island. I could play an escape tunnel, which is kind of a tap land, but this could be good utility later if we find a hounds. I honestly could have just cast the Eidolon as like an attacker here. I don't necessarily think that would have been terrible, just since we don't have the most pressure. But Lembas, scry to the bottom. We'll cast this now. And another snacker. I can actually just discard the snacker as the jumpstart for this, though, if I want to bring it back. We are finally getting enough guys to make the last rites be pretty good. Yeah, we're definitely discarding this. I do find it interesting that 80% of the time people new to the format, not you, Ben, start brewing with absolutely no format knowledge. Yeah, it's definitely not the best way to play, but people who like to brew no matter what. I will say when I first started playing, I started with Golgari Gardens as one of my main decks, but alongside playing that, I was brewing decks at the same time. And that comes from like just always enjoying brewing. Like Drafting and Commander were my main formats before Pauper, and both of those you get to kind of brew in. Obviously Draft is, a little different, but all right, so I could just discard the snacker and it comes right back. I could discard the Eidolon and it comes right back to the Dahada's Ploy. Kind of like getting another snacker down, but we actually go up on cards if we discard this guy. Then the last rites gets better, and let's get the snacker here, I think. So this comes back. And then we get to discard another one. Another snacker is pretty cool. Yeah, we'll just discard this. I could actually just hard cast another snacker. If they have like a Crypt Rats, they wipe the board, but I can just bring them back with like a Lorien next turn. Sure. Oh, right, and that brings this back. Kind of cool. Yeah, I'm brewing, but trying to keep in mind the meta, but also my LGS meta. Yeah, definitely. Like, people don't know what they should be brewing or what's going to work well if they don't know the meta. But again, some people just like to. Oh, we're Pestilence. Okay, it's hard to tell the difference between Pestilence and Gardens unless you see a Pestilence or a food spell or something. So they can just wipe out all the snackers, but I can just bring them right back. Damage to everything. I guess if I bring them back, then the Pestilence survives. So I probably want to just let the Pestilence die here. That means I also can't Shipwreck Sifters, and I don't get to cast my Lorien. That seems kind of bad, actually. Yeah, it's annoying. If I bring him back, I guess Pestilence survives, so it doesn't really do much. Yeah, I think we should just pass, let the Pestilence die. I will also say, like, this was when I was, a lot earlier to the game, but I, along with a lot of other people, didn't like the idea of like net decking and like playing a deck that already existed, which is just inherently kind of a silly idea. But at the time, it was like, oh, I want to build my own deck and have it be fully original, which I understand since that was something that I had for a while. But it is certainly kind of a silly concept. All right, there's a Hounds. I kind of like Lorien to hit a land and just get back all our snackers. Hopefully they don't have like a Crypt Incursion or something main deck. And then if they play another Pestilence, they could deal 2, maybe 3 if they get a land here. So if I play a Sifters, it could die. But I also have a Lorien for the snackers to come back. And we're going to have to discard a card if we don't play this. So let's just pitch this guy, get a counter, and pass. Yeah, I'm not looking for wins necessarily with another Terror deck. Yeah, that's also fair. As long as you're not brewing a deck and expecting to, auto win or anything, and you're just doing it for fun or to get a lay of the land, I think that's totally reasonable. Nothing wrong with that. Well, definitely getting 3 snackers against the all-removal opponent is going to be really nice. Because, next turn we can just attack for a bunch. If they happen to find a Pestilence here and, ping off all the snackers, I can just Lorien them back again. Also, next turn if I want, I could Lorien and Last Rites, so I could potentially try to swipe their whole hand. Cast down the Sifters. Spell Bomb. Okay, but no way to kill the snackers yet is nice. Hit for 1. Spell Bomb obviously a little annoying against our Eidolons, but another Lorien. Well, we're going to hit for 6. We want to play Hounds, and yeah, I kind of feel like we want to Last Rites. I mean, I could just Lorien Revealed and Hounds. We're going to have to discard a card. That's fine. I guess Hounds isn't. Currently, we only have 1 creature for the Hounds, so drawing more is probably good. But if we take their whole hands, they might be forced to use the Spell Bomb before these snackers are gone. I guess I should just Last Rites. I should Lorien Revealed and then Last Rites, so I don't have to discard everything. Let's do that. I'll still be able to keep a couple cards. We've drawn every Lorien. That's great. All right. Last Rites here. We're going to do it for 5 or 6, probably. They might have a land. They've hit a land every turn. Discard Island, Eidolon, cast down, Agony Warp, and 1 with the Loriens. Yeah, I think we'll do 5. Perfect. We hit. Oh, they have Brave the Wilds. Interesting. And just take every single one of their spells. Nice. Left with a Swamp. That one of Last Rites, main deck. Looking pretty good here. Thoughts on 1 or 2 blood fountains to loot or rebuy creatures? I think we don't have a ton of creatures that we want to rebuy. Like, Snackers come back already, the Eidolons come back already, so it would only be for the Hounds and the Shipwreck Sifters, which could be okay. Hunt for Specimens. Okay, they're doing some learn stuff. So I don't know if you'd have enough targets you really want to hit on average, because currently that's only 7 creatures that I would want to bring back. With the Blood Fountain, the discard wouldn't be bad, but I also feel like the room is really tight. Like, I added the 4 attachments, and I had to cut... We had, like, 2 Kitchen Imps in the deck, which were kind of random. I didn't mind them, but I don't think they're super necessary. And can't remember what else I cut, but, you know... I'm not sure there's room for the Blood Fountains. Personally, I don't think they're super necessary, but if you wanted to try them out, I think they could be okay for sure. Just not going to be as much value as some decks. Flashback Insight to gain a life here. They find environmental sciences. I kind of expected a little something stronger for their lesson. Love Brave the Wilds. It is a pretty sweet card. Swing for 6. Looked like you cut 1 Dahada's Ploy. Yeah, I felt like 4. Obviously, it's kind of it's one of the best cards in the deck, and it's very synergistic. But it also just felt like 3 mana. It's a little clunky to get multiple a lot of times. So yes, I did cut 1 of those. You're right. Yeah, let's cast another Lorien and make this a 4/4. Yeah, that's probably fine. Play that. Another attacker. Play an Aquifer and pass. Yeah, 1 ploy. Oh, and we also had 2 mob lookouts in the previous version, and I think they were fine. New cards, so nothing wrong with trying them out. But I think Abandoned Attachments is just going to be just better. It's not a creature, which is relevant, but you get to discard and draw 2 instead of just draw 1, discard 1, and works better with the Snacker. It's also multicolored, so I think it's quite a bit better. The Environmental Science, Crack Olembus. Yeah, I guess they do have a lot of life gain, so not quite dying yet. And a Bajuka Bog, okay. They already have the Spell Bomb, but a little annoying that they get to keep it around, I suppose. Hunt for Specimens. Kind of thought we were going to be able to win on this turn or so, but yeah, they've gained a lot of life here. I guess if I find my other escape tunnel, I can give this unblockable and then we can hit for lethal. Yeah, let's draw 2 and discard. Because we only use 1 escape tunnel, right? Or did I use 2? Yeah, just 1. Yeah, discard an Eidolon. We're actually 1 damage short because I can cast this and sack it to make him lose 1 life. But that's not quite good enough. Let's cast Dahada's Ploy, discarding this guy. They both come back. Then draw 2, discard. 1 of these. Brainstorm. Last Snacker, okay. So we're not going to find the thing this turn, the escape tunnel, but that's okay. Still just hit for a bunch. I'm not going to cast this last Snacker, because if they find a board wipe, they can spellbomb them all away. I'd rather have 1 in hand, even if it is more flying damage here. Now they're going to block 2 on the Hounds, while I'll discard 1 of these. And I guess I can cast the instant speed to bring these 2 back, so might as well just keep that around. I could play a Sifters, but that also is going to die to a board wipe potentially. And if they do go for a Bajuka Bog or cracking the Spellbomb, I'd like to be able to get my Eidolons back. There's a Pestilence. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they can't kill the Hounds. They haven't played a land. There it is. So they can deal 4, but I can grow the Hounds. If I cast this, attachments to get these back, they could Spellbomb in response, but I could cast 2 on my turn. Yeah, let's just do this. Alright, so again, if we can find an escape tunnel, we can get there. So let's play Abandoned Attachments to bring these back. Now they have to choose if they want to crack the Spell Bomb. They don't. So we'll get them back. Now we can discard the Snacker. And if I trigger that to bring it back, they could Pestilence in response and wipe the Snackers away. But if they do that, they can just do it later after the Snacker. So I shouldn't do that. Let's discard 1 of these guys. Lands. We have 19 cards, 1 escape tunnel left. Let's cast another 1 of these. Bring this back again. Discard it again. Another attachment. I mean, these cards are pretty good. Just chaining them together. As long as we don't hit our land drop, I can do this and I can still brainstorm and hold up counterspell. So I think there's no reason not to. Just go for it. This is a crazy engine here. It's just draw 2 for 2 mana. Okay, and then I guess I'd brainstorm. This digs as deep as I can go. Doesn't find it. I don't need to cast down. Oh, they also are only at 3 life. I probably should keep that in mind with Pestilence. They can't actually use it more than a couple times. I wanted to get... Actually, wait, I have a cast down. Oh, I just have 1 because I could double kill the plants, but no, we only have 1 cast down, so that's not going to work. Play an island. Yeah, because they can block. All right, well, we'll swing. Also, if I hadn't gone for it and dug that deep this time, then like on their turn, I could Snacker with 2 attachments to try to bring them back, but I assume they're going to Spellbomb at the end step here. Yep, 1 damage to everything. Of course, I could just like cast down my own guy so they can't Pestilence. They have double Lembus, so at a functional 9. Yeah, I mean well, for this turn a functional 5 because they had to use the Pestilence. I mean, I guess they could have done double. You're right, yes. But yeah, if I was able to get this unblockable, I could have dealt more than that. I think I'd probably just go to discard now. I have a bunch of counter spells. Sure. Actually, maybe I should play well, it's too late, but maybe I should have played a Shipwreck Sifters here as an extra attacker. They sack Olympus, and I'm going to discard this because I can get it back at instant speed, and I don't want to discard the Snacker because they could maybe take him away. I guess a Cast Down. Crack the Spell Bomb. I know my top 2 cards are lands, so there's not really a reason to Dahada's Ploy here. I mean, I could get back my Eidolon. Excuse me, my Eidolon. I have 2 of them. I could get them both back, actually. But I lose the Ploy. No, that's probably fine. Oh, I floated a black for some reason. That's annoying. Probably will be fine, unless I need to double counterspell here, which is totally possible. Flashback and Insight. Sure. They have a familiar with a Lembas, so that is a blocker. 3 mana for a Heaped Harvest. I guess I'll counter this, because it's a food, it's life, it's a free familiar trigger. Can't fire. Okay. I knew I shouldn't have gotten rid of that Cast Down, because if they just had a familiar here, we'd be fine. Alright, let's start with the Sifters. Discard the Snacker, and then Dahada's Ploy. Bring back the Snacker, discard this, and Dahada's Ploy, discard, bring this back. There's a Cast Down, so I discard a Brainstorm here, and I think I can just cast down the cat when they go to bring it back, and then hit for a bunch, 4 blockers, because I can hit for 8 here off of this guy, which is what they're going to be at. I guess that's 6, they're at 6, so I'll make them use the Campfire, and then we'll discard the Hounds and hit for 8. Alright, definitely think I messed up a couple things there, but we ended up getting there in the end. Duress is good. Another Last Rites. The Last Rites was fantastic. Suffocating Fumes is okay, because they can use it kind of like a cast down in that instance. Dispel, they have a lot of cast downs and draw spells. Spell Bombs, I guess, are good. This is a lot of cards to bring. Maybe the Fumes, not as necessary. Cast Down was decent, but if we have Spell Bombs, we still have Agony Warps. Those might be cuts. Maybe I don't need Duress as much. I can just Last Rites them, and I don't know. Hard to make cuts for this because we have our Eidolons, which is an engine. We have to have our multicolored spells. There's a lot of things that we need to have. This one, I'm going to keep it. It's pretty decent. We're on the draw. I can do a turn 2 Snacker. I might have to Brainstorm for a land, in which case that's not great. I don't because of this Lorien. Also, their Spell Bomb's going to make things a little annoying. But maybe I can just make them crack it with just the first Snacker here. 1 Bojuka Bog out of the way. And a Cauldron Familiar. I think we're just getting blue. And I'm just going to go for the Abandoned Attachment Snacker right now, so that they have to at least burn their card draw from the Spell Bomb if they want to use it right away. If they don't, that's fine too. They cast Olympus. Swing for 1. Lorien's a good draw because I want to get a land drop here. I guess that means I can Brainstorm first. Sure. Because I want to get a black this time, so we're going to put it on. Yeah, so we'll get rid of a Spell Bomb. I mean, they could be useful, obviously. And a Lorien, which we'll just hopefully redraw later. Play an Aquifer and pass. Offering the Lembas and Colony Garden. So here I can play double Sifters, maybe. They get decent toughness to survive against a Pestilence. Play 1, and I think we'll discard the Agony Warp here, and then I'll discard the Eidolon to the second one so that I can grow them both. If I knew I was drawing an island, I wouldn't have discarded the Agony Warp. I would have discarded an island, but that's okay. There's a Wellspring. And a draw 2. They don't have any food at the moment, so if I attack and they maybe just chump with the Cauldron Familiar, I can get a Spell Bomb down, potentially. And they miss a land drop too, which is nice. Counter spell. Alright, swing with the team. Yep, they chump one of them. So I'm going to attachments to rebuy and discard this so that we get an extra counter on these guys. Hit for 5. Play a Spell Bomb, hold up counter spell. So if they play a food, I'll probably crack the Spell Bomb in response. Tithing Blade is totally fine. We'll let the Snacker go. I know they can Spell Bomb it away, but these 2 guys growing are pretty decent. Yeah, I kind of want to prevent the second one from happening. Let's counter that. I know these guys get chumped easier, but they're pretty big. They survive the Pestilence a lot easier. And, ooh, Attachments is a good draw. That's going to force the Spell Bomb, probably. Hello, Milo and Juanito. How's it going? So hard to catch you live from me. Yeah, where are you at? I get it can be pretty tough. You bring this back right away. They don't even worry about it. Then we get the Snacker back. Great. Oh, I guess I wasn't even discarding this in response. Oh, I didn't discard it. I discarded a land. I should have, but honestly, it plays around the Spellbomb better. I think now I just last rites them for 5. I don't know what they're going to do against this, and I have all lands, so what does it really matter? Yep, take their entire hand. Or they had 6 spells, so I get to take everything except for this Hunt for Specimens, probably. No, and Insight, because this gets a blocker. But, all right, we're able to crush Food Pest real nicely. Berlin, yeah, that is rough for sure. 6 hours, 7 hours difference, something like that. Hey, Skura, how's it going? The Fey King is in the house. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a League video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. All right. Ooh, and we were playing against Kali Kais with kind of 7 lands. That's not going to cut it. GG's Burga was fun. Yeah, turn 2 Snacker here. Should I keep a cast down? A lot of the decks he plays cast down might not be relevant. I think Counterspell's probably a safer bet in general. We do get turn 2 Snacker and attack from there. Lands didn't show up last game. Yeah, I saw that. Pretty rough for sure with all the card draw you were doing. Duress, that's annoying. I guess I'll just have to cast my Snacker if he takes attachments. Yep. Could just leave up Counterspell. That doesn't seem super good. You're playing a Fey deck. Yeah, look at that. Disregard the fact that most of the creatures are spirits, but yeah, we do have a few fairies. One of the best creatures in the format, you know. What is he on? I mean, it could be Gardens, could be, yeah, some sort of deck like that. Shambling Ghast, sure. Crashing Drawbridge. Pilipala? Is that what this would be? Drawbridge giving haste. Yeah, Pilipala. That's what I was thinking. I mean, this, like, might not be the best thing to counter, but I'd rather use my mana in case I get something relevant to play. Like that. What a strong card. But also this gives haste, which can make it so you can combo earlier, so it's still not a bad thing to pick off. Yep, I guess I'm playing this. Here's my 4 mana 2/2. Yep, there's the Pilipala. So we need another counterspell, or that cast down I got rid of would be fine too. Otherwise, infinite mana Eidolon. Well, I think I just cycle this, and if he can make infinite mana. One of the outlets for infinite mana is the red dragon, which I guess having Snacker back to block would be potentially keep us alive. I guess if that's the case, he could just pick off the Snacker by attacking with this one. Maybe that's bad. Or he just picks off this one. All right. Well, I'll drain you for 1. Look at that. I can't say I've played against Pilipala at all. I've seen it a couple of times, but rest assured, this makes infinite mana with the right enchantment on it, and we're looking to avoid that happening. Last rites for 1. Well, I'm just going to start attacking. I think I'll save the last rites for a turn or 2. Obviously, didn't have the combo or didn't have an outlet or something. I think it makes sense to wait a little bit. Rumble almost whiffs, finds 3 spells and a landscape. Map onto the Pala, finds a swamp. Play that. Swing for 1. We get a Lorien revealed. I'll swing for 2, and I'm going to slam a Lorien. Obviously, if he just wins while we're tapped out, that's rough, but we kind of got to make something happen. These are some decent cards. 5 mana, flashback the Insight on the Wellspring, draw 3. We don't have the most removal ever. We do have, I think, 3 cast downs, 2 Agony Warps, and 4 counter spells in the deck. We've already seen a couple of them. There's the Careful Cultivation. So that's infinite mana. It taps for 2 green. It untaps for 2 mana to add 1 mana of any color. So it's infinite mana. As soon as he shows us an outlet, which I assume he has, this is pretty funny, then we'll concede. Over 100 mana. It's a lot. Just play a Hydra for a bunch or something. That'd be pretty funny. Pilipala Dance Party. Yeah, true. I don't know if Hydra's the best way you can use this mana, but that certainly would get us here. Makes a black Engine Rat. So this can just kill us. Each opponent loses 2 life for 6 mana, but obviously with infinite mana, not a big deal. All right, so a lot of card draw. Dispel's good, Duress is good, Last Rites. Fumes can hit the Pala before it has the thing on it. I guess that's okay. There's Insights, but I don't think Spellbomb's super relevant otherwise. So we're going to keep the kill spells. I mean, Snacker's honestly a little slow here. Like, I think our best bet's to disrupt a little bit and then get a Hounds down for a bunch of damage. So I kind of think cutting, like, Attachments works well with the Eidolon too, but it's particularly good with the Snacker, so maybe cutting, like, a couple of those. Wonder if you wanted to execute the combo, sometimes he gets sad when he pulls out the glasses and they get a concession instead. I mean, I think that's fair, especially since he's a content creator, but in my experience, I've found that most combo players get annoyed if you don't concede when they have the combo. So assuming they've shown me that they can kill me, I try to be courteous and not waste either of our time. I guess we can cut maybe one of these removal spells. All right, on the play here, we have, yes, Hin's fine. Interacts a little bit. I think we'll just cycle the Lorien so we can have Counterspell up on turn 2, in case he just like slams the Pilipala. Duress. I could Brainstorm to like hide some of these. I think it's probably fine. I mean, you could take the Counterspell. That's true. Sure, let's Brainstorm. Double Lorien. Okay, so I can make it so he just takes a Lorien. That's fine. And I can still hold up Counterspell because I drew the island. That's not the end of the world. Although I might just want to play Sifters to get the growing started. I kind of think that might actually be better. If he plays Pilipala right here, I can have Counterspell next turn. I also just don't think it's likely he's going to just run it out when it could potentially get cast down. Oh, and no land. That's pretty good for us. Play Swamp and attack. Probably chump for a treasure. Now I'm going to hold up Counterspell because if he just goes with like a draw spell, I might counter it. If he plays a Wellspring, yeah, I probably do counter that. If he cracks the treasure for a Wellspring, I think that's definitely worth it. Keeping him off lands. All right, there's a Garden and another Shambling Ghast. Play attachments. Bring this back, and then discard it right away. Grow this guy. Cast down. Yeah, let's cycle this Lorien as well for an island. Play that. Swing. And then I can attachments for the Snacker this turn, and then still hold up Counterspell. He just takes it. Discard Snacker, bring it back. Fumes. Okay. Wellspring. That's fine. Drawbridge. Yeah, I think that's a fine one to cast, or to Counterspell since I want to use my mana. I still have Cast Down for the Pilipala. Or Suffocating Fumes. Yeah, let's swing. He can block, pick off Snacker, which I can get back, or he can just get a treasure, probably. Yeah, I guess I might as well just hold up everything. No need to ploy this turn since Snacker didn't die. This way I can hold up Cast Down or Suffocating. Last Right's us for 3. Yeah, he'd be able to take my interaction. That's fine. If he can take Fumes and Cast Down. If he takes Ploy or doesn't, I can still cast it, and I'd rather do it now because if I cast it first and then I find a third removal spell, yeah. He discarded only 1. Interesting. Maybe he just had the combo, was trying to see if he could get through using it as just a duress, but saw the 2 removal spells and that was good enough, I assume. All right. Battle of the Last Rites. This hand is not very good. You get locked very easily. This one is fine. Turn 1, Escape Tunnel for, I guess, black, so I can have duress plus Last Rites. Yeah, I guess I probably don't need both of these. Maybe I put back the duress and just plan for the Last Rites. There's a Garden. Escape Tunnel. Yeah, I think we're going to get a Swamp. Nice. Draw the island. Sifters. Discard an island. Draw 2. And no land drop? Okay, Colony Garden. Sure. Discard a card. Insight. We get a Brainstorm. I guess we Brainstorm first because then the Sifters has a better chance to grow. Yeah. Put back these 2. Not that. Cast the Sifters. Discard the Eidolon. Grow. Swing for 2. Put the Last Rites on top so that it can't get duressed away. Maybe I should have done that for the Counterspell, but sack the landscape. Shambling. All right, we're going to Brainstorm, see what's up. A lot more the same. We're not using Last Rites this turn, so I guess we're doing the same thing. Putting these 2 back. Attack. Chump. We'll just deal 2. Hold up Counterspell. Hold up Ploy. Duress. Takes Counterspell. Or I could Counterspell it, but that doesn't matter. Then I wouldn't get to Ploy this turn, so we might as well just let him have it. Not the end of the world if he sees these cards. Oh, nothing else. I kind of expected the Duress to be followed up by something. Well, we'll cast Ploy. Bring back Eidolon. Discard it again. Triggers. Here I could Last Rites. He didn't have it last turn. He'd have to have haste. Yeah, I think it's probably safe as long as we don't see Pilipala or Crushing Drawbridge. Feels like it's probably safe to not. So let's just swing. Block one of them. We'll Dahada's Ploy from hand. Sacks the plant. Goes for another one. Sure. Turn this. We get a Counterspell. Yeah, so I'll discard this guy. Get a counter here. Island. Now I have Counterspell up. Next turn I can Last Rites. Counterspell the Pilipala? Probably. Engine Rat. Death Touch can block one of these. It's a little annoying. 7 cards in hand is a lot too. Brainstorm. Find an Agony Warp, which can make this not kill our guy. So I guess we put back these. Then we're not Last Ritesing this turn. That's probably fine. Swing. Based on how he's been blocking before, I kind of assumed just a single block. Oh, Tommy was safekeeping. Well, now I just want to kill that. And I'm not going to lower its power. Doesn't really matter what if I lower somebody else's power, though. We'll go for it here. He could have another safekeeping. That's fine. He used 2 of those. He gets to kill one of these, kind of annoying, but not the end of the world, I don't think. It might be. Yeah, we'll pass. So our top cards are Last Rites and then Land. I probably don't want to draw those back. And the moment he plays a Pilipala, I got a Last Rites for like maximum, I think. I guess this just is a Death Toucher that can block here too. Duress. Okay. Well, if he takes Last Rites, then I have another one, 2 from the top, which I can get with a Dahada's Ploy. So maybe it's not the end of the world. Or he can take Lorien if he's more scared of that. But no. There's the Pilipala. So yeah, we're not going to cycle the Lorien now. Let's discard this guy, get it back, discard it again, and then Last Rites for 4, swing for 6. I could do it for 3. Let's see. Does he have any insights in the graveyard? 1. So he has something to do either way. This is going to be small, so I don't even know if keeping this makes sense. So it's keeping a Lorien. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of worth it. So I'm going to do it for 3, I think. Perfect. We will take all of those. Oh, this guy grew more because I discarded cards. That's why I should have done it pre-combat. Well, oh well. Flashback Insight. I also discarded an Insight, so he's got 2 of those. Plays a Swamp, so we still know he has a Forest. Swings for 1. Suffocating Fumes would be great. Dahada's Ploy. Yeah, I haven't seen the Suffocating, right? That was last game? Yeah. So rather than go for the Lorien, I'm going to do this so I can like have a cast down and stuff like available if I draw it. Always yes, always yield. Dispel. I mean, that's something. It's not as much as I'd like though. Cycle this and I could attack. I guess I might as well. If he trades with the Engine Rat, then he needs to find another piece. So that's not the worst thing ever. It's just my connection that's bad. Yeah, looks like I'm dropping frames, fortunately. He goes for an Eviscerator's Insight. I mean, I think I just counter that. Escape Tunnel. I could just cast one of these Eidolons. I think I'd rather draw 3. Attachments. That's not very good. Let's pass. Map onto it. Wellspring. Colony Garden. Swing for 2. We're gonna abandon attachments on the end step. Yeah, I'm trying to work on the stream lagging, y'all. Duress, I guess that's something. Tamio's Safekeeping in response. Forest and Engine Rat. Cast this, cast this. Oh my gosh, why is it not going into this? I think we should be back. Of course, the moment I stopped stream, he just top decked a Careful Cultivation. We had just duressed him, so we knew he had an Engine Rat in hand, and just got the combo off. And we did not find any of our cast downs that game, so a bit unfortunate. And we had just cast Eidolons because Lorien revealed into exclusively lands. So that was not great. A bit unfortunate indeed. Refreshing seemed to help. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Alright, round 3 here. Yeah, this hand's alright. Against White Weenie? Yeah, looks like it. Well, the graveyard hate they're gonna have from Thraben Charms in the main deck is gonna be a little annoying. But they don't have a lot of removal for like the Hounds or the Sifters, so maybe that'll be okay. Swing for 1. Double Inspector here. We get to Sifters, discard. Eidolon grows this, but Snacker would be better if we find like a way to draw without discarding. Another Snacker. Yeah, let's just grow a little bit here. Make the attacks less free. Sure is a hand of 7 Magic the Gathering cards. Indeed. I mean, maybe not the best hand ever, but we're also playing a deck that is really cool, but it's probably not going to have the best hand ever. Yeah, they just have the Charm. I mean, using it on that's not the worst thing ever. If we can start landing Snackers. Abandoned Attachments would be a cool draw. Honestly, Swamp lets me play a Hound and then discard the Snackers. Sure. Stream still having issues? If you say so, then I believe it is. Cycle and Eagles. Grange. They have another Thraben Charm, so I could not grow it big enough, unfortunately. They have 1 card left in hand, so we might be okay here. But Sifters. Play that. Discard a Snacker. Yeah, I'll Brainstorm. Get it right back. Unless they have a 3rd. Okay, they crack another Snacker. We can shuffle some of this stuff away if I want. Snackers are honestly pretty decent. I kind of think I'm fine. Let's play Aquifer and pass. They have another Grange. Crack a Clue. Yeah, so I'm not seeing any issues with my internet. Everything seems fine with my upload and everything. I had a couple other, I'm closing a couple programs to see if lower strain on the computer could help. But if it's still lagging, I'm not exactly sure what to do. I might have to look into it a little bit more later. Seems fine to me. I just had to refresh. Okay. I know Ben was saying that it was still having some issues, so it's better now. Okay. Like I said this the other day, like I'm still showing enormous dropped frames, but if no one else is complaining, if it's working for fine for everybody, then that's great. Alright, they do Battle Screech here, gain a bunch of life. We have a Tunnel. My next card is another Snacker. No, my next card is an Eidolon. So I'd probably just play a Snacker, hold up Counterspell and Agony Warp for relevant things, and I think I want to Escape Tunnel and shuffle away now. Yeah, attack with everybody. So if they have the Guardian's Pledge, I can counterspell. So we want to trade here. Block. Oh, this is a 2/2. I guess block here. Unfortunately, I don't have a great block on this guy. Block here, we're taking 4. Sure. Yeah. We're going to counterspell that. Hope they don't have a second one, I guess. All right. That didn't do too poorly. Last card. Oh, they're going to flash that back. Sure. Shuffle away for an island. Dahada's Play gets back our snackers. Tapped. Or I could just play one of these and then like Agony Warp 2 of them. That's probably worse. Yeah, because I can also grow the Sifter by discarding the Eidolon, so that's good. Discard this guy. Oh, we gain some life too, which is kind of nice. Cycle Lorien for a land. Seems good. Then hold up Agony Warp. Up. We still die to a... No, we don't die to a Guardian's Pledge because we're at 7 now. Yeah. We'll do this. Yeah. They play planes. Still swing with everybody. Block here and see what they got. Nothing. Gonna shrink this. Kill this. I guess since I chose to target the Inspector, if they did now have the Guardian's Pledge and cast it at this point, they would kill us. They'd deal 7 exactly. Greetings. How's it going? All right, we eat this guy. We go to 5, but they only have 3 creatures and we can block them with our flyers. Another snacker. Sure. Play these guys out. I guess I probably should have just ployed first because it gains us a little bit of life. See if we get something else, but that's okay. Bring this back. Discard. Yup, one of these guys. Nice. We got an island. Swing for 4. And yeah, I guess I might as well do attachments to hit for an extra damage. Pass the turn. Skyfisher. Can get an extra counter from a Grange, or I could pick this up. So it's an extra creature, kind of. Go for the Grange. On the Fisher, Brainstorm. Yeah, let's cast one of those. I'm not attacking with the Snacker, so there's no reason to like wait on it. Back a couple of lands. Swing with this guy. If they want to trade a couple guys here, that's kind of fine with me. They'll take it. I will assemble my 4th Snacker. Boom. Bow before me. All right. We know 1 card on top, but we can see two new ones with the Brainstorm. Nice. Put back these, and I think we're just casting this down. Now I can start attacking with a couple snackers. Increase our clock. I do have a counter spell for like a Guardian's Pledge, but I don't think there's any reason to attack all out here. Swing for 9, and heck, I'll just play this guy out. Saddest possible Thraben Charm incoming. Yeah, it could be. Snacker Exodia. Exactly. It's gorgeous. All right. Well, Spellbomb hits some of their stuff. Fumes and Arms of Adar, of course. Probably it. Last Rites isn't super necessary. They don't always have that many cards in hand. Agony Warps are good. Snackers are good. Frankly, we're going to be on the defensive. I feel like the Hounds aren't the best, so maybe we cut like a couple of these. I didn't mention this at the beginning, but the original list was running like 3 Enigma and 3 Entropic, which is nice and symmetrical, but every once in a while you actually have to cast these guys, and the Entropic just has a better ability. Lose 1, gain 1 life can be relevant, and actually was relevant last time when I streamed this, whereas the Mill 3 is almost never relevant, so I think do that. And not really sure what else. I guess Spellbombs, Prismatic Strands are not the end of the world. Maybe we don't need Spellbombs as much. They hit Battle Screech, kind of. Yeah, I guess we'll just bring in one. Have you thought about doing occasional evening or weekend streams to catch people who can't make your normal times? Yeah, I did a couple of them when I first started streaming. And I certainly could think about doing them again. To be honest, they just are not quite as good for me. Because I guess if, usually I try to stream for 4 or 5 hours. If I start in the evening, then it goes really late. And then, one of the streams that I did, I went until, like, midnight. Maybe, I didn't have to. But then I still need, like, an hour or 2 to decompress after that. So then I'm going to bed really late. I try not to, I don't know. So it throws off my schedule a little bit. I wouldn't mind doing it for some people who can, who would like to see some of the streams, so it's something I could definitely keep in mind. My initial plan was to do evening streams almost exclusively, and then I found that I just preferred the afternoon ones. But I get that it's a pain for people across the world who can't see them then. All right, if I draw a land here, I can just get a turn 2 snacker. Okay, we didn't, so we got to go Lorien. I could just get an island. All I'm doing is playing a Brainstorm, which I don't really want to do anyway. I'd rather keep that for the snackers later, so I'm just going to play an Aquifer, I think. They crack a clue and swing for 1. Inspector. If they leave up a clue again, I feel like they're probably trying to hold up a Thraben Charm for a snacker. Although we have so many snackers, maybe it's not a big deal. We're cycling this for an island. Yeah, I think we'll just go for this. If they have the Thraben Charm, they get 1 snacker, but then ideally I can get another one later, or 2. If I didn't have any, then I might be more hesitant to do it. If I didn't have any more snackers, because it wouldn't be as beneficial if they did cast it. But They either didn't have it or didn't want to use it there, so we're actually okay. There's the Summon Chocomog, so these are going to get +2/+0. Swing for 4. Island, so I can play a snacker or 2. I could play 1, and then we can double trade, and I can brainstorm to bring them right back. Or I can hold up Counterspell. I think that's probably better. I could cast a second one, but then if I like triple block, and then they just have the Thraben Charm, it's kind of bad. I don't know. Also, the Chocomog kills itself after the saga ends, so if you can just jump it a couple turns, like you don't necessarily have to trade with it, which can be nice. Skyfisher does also throw that off a little bit. I'm gonna counterspell. Skyfisher's pretty good, especially against snackers. If I don't counterspell, I feel like they're gonna pick up an Inspector, replay it, and not even attack, which I guess is fine, because then the Chocomog's just losing value. Journey to Nowhere, okay. But I kind of want them to attack so I can just trade with the snackers. And if they didn't attack, then I wasn't gonna brainstorm. I don't know. I'm very okay with the Journey to Nowhere on this. It's not the end of the world. Idyllic Range. Okay, so they're gonna attack with just these two, maybe. I'll still just chump either one of them if they're 3 power, since we can get it back. Another Sifters. So I'll play a Sifters. Would love to draw an Eidolon here to discard. Yeah, just a Swamp. I could discard the other Sifters to grow, but I kind of want the other Sifters. I think I'm just going to play this, play the other Snacker, and then we still have the Brainstorm to get back, hopefully, both Snackers here. And then this is the last turn the Chocomog's going to be around, unless, of course, they Skyfisher it, which was also a concern. Like, last turn was 1 turn too early for them to get the most value out of it, so maybe they wouldn't have been picking it up, but I certainly don't want them to be rebuying that, though I can't stop it now. Another Grange. Buffs up the other Inspector, yeah. And then there's another one of them, okay. Yeah, all 4 power creatures. I guess wouldn't double Sifter in that turn have returned both Snackers, the Snacker. Yes, it would have, but yeah, I could have pitched the other Snacker, returned them. Yeah, I guess that would have been okay. It still wouldn't, then the problem here is that I would have 2 1/2 Sifters, and I wouldn't have a Snacker to block this turn, which I really want, because, for example, if I had 2 Sifters, I'd have to just chump and not get anything out of it. Here, I'm going to trade, go to 3, and then I can still Brainstorm to bring back the Snackers. So, yes, that would have worked, and if I could have grown the Sifters by, if I had discard the Snacker into discard an Eidolon, I think that would be pretty nice. But since they would be 1/2s, I just didn't think that was actually better. I wanted to have the Snacker to block. And also, I didn't know that the Inspector was going to grow. I assumed I could just trade a Snacker for it, which I guess at that point, I could have double blocked it with Sifters. Maybe it would have been about the same. So yeah, it wouldn't have been a bad play for sure. All right, we do have that, so it doesn't really matter what I put back. All right, we might be okay here. Bring these back, draw, play this, discard the Eidolon on top, grow, play a counterspell, or play an island and hold up counterspell. And then this guy's going to die, and I have 3 blockers. It still pumps the team, but it does die. Thraben Inspector. Let's see, what am I doing this turn? If they attack with both, I guess I chump double block. I'm at 3 life. I kind of just need to counter creatures. They could have 1 better card, but it also draws another card, so it's still pretty decent. Informant's honestly probably not as bad. It could be lethal here if they discard a non-land card, but at least it doesn't draw an actual full new card, I guess. I don't know. I mean, if they find a Battle Screech here, maybe that's bad, but alright, so yeah, it's still not great here, because I could double block, kill this, chump here, but then next turn I still have 2 lethal attackers that I have to deal with, and I don't know what I'm drawing. I guess my alternative is chump. I'm still dealing with 3 lethal attackers next turn. Yeah, I guess this has got to be the best way to do it then. I need to find Dahada's Ploy into something, maybe. I mean, obviously Brainstorm brings back the Snackers, but they're tapped. But into something else could be good. Suffocating Fumes, usually a great card. Not here so much. Cycle this. Agony Warp, actually, that keeps us alive. Actually, Agony Warp's fantastic. It kills the Informant, it shrinks the Chocomog, and unless they get a Core Skyfisher, the Chocomog will kill itself next turn. So this kind of removes both of these. Shrink this, kill this one, and it brings back the Eidolon. If they have a Guardian's Pledge, this is bad. I had to wait for their turn for the power to matter, but I could have done it in their upkeep. Yeah, that could have been smart for sure, because now they have probably 2 Guardian's Pledges in their deck that would win the game here. The Raven Charm to exile our graveyard. That's honestly fine. I mean, I'd prefer to get this back, obviously, but that being their draw is better than it being a Skyfisher or something. All right, Lorien revealed into the nuts. Cast down's not bad. So this guy's going to sack itself, so no need to cast it down. And then we're top decking. Dahada's Ploy is not bad. We're just going to cast that because I could get any number of creatures to play. A 1/2 Sifters. Is that worth it? over a cast down. It might grow if I can find more stuff. I guess probably having a creature that can maybe grow is good, but discarding a cast down here does not feel great. Oh, right. Also, I loot here. Oh, perfect, though. That was great. Now it's worth it. If I knew I was getting that, it would have been an easier decision, obviously. There's a veteran. Not the scariest. Amazing. Great draw. Because now I get to discard that, which is going to grow this multiple times. Always yes. Always yes. We're also going to gain 2 life here. Discard this. Counterspell's great. Okay, now we're in a really good spot, actually. We now suddenly have a 4/5, and I can hold up Counterspell and Cast Down. We're also at 6 life, so I can take a couple hits from a 1/1 veteran, no problem. Or they just chump, that's fine too. Flash that back. Yeah, I'm not going to counter that. It's funny because this triggers whenever you just discard a card with a spirit card or a card with Disturb. And this guy is Disturbed, so this is almost, maybe there could be an Azorius version of this that runs this veteran. That could be cool. All right, another cast down's pretty good. So cast downs can handle the scary big creatures. Counterspell's going to handle like a Battle Screech. You take it. And I think I might as well just cast this. So I have another attacker. Speed up the clock a little bit. Squadron Hawk. That's kind of like a Battle Screech, honestly. It can make 3 1/1s here. I think we counter that. Pretty funny countering a Squadron Hawk, but do think that's worth it. Also, their other cards seem to be nothing. So, I don't know. Attack for 1. Spell Bomb. I don't think they have any other graveyard stuff at the moment, but not bad to have. Swing for 6. They have Prismatic Strands. Sure. Perfect. Now I can use my Spell Bomb. This also only prevents 4 damage because I have a black creature. Play a Spell Bomb. I think I'll just crack it right away in case I get like another Sifter. I think the list is too tight to run white. Green has a great mill package and I still don't think it's worth it. Yeah. No, I wouldn't want to add a color. It would be like in place of black. Which black is obviously great here. Being able to hardcast Snackers is good. I don't know if it would be worth it. I'm just saying theoretically you could have like an Azorius build that has these guys, that has Rafid's Informant can loot. Maybe that's an okay one. There is a full cycle of the Eidolons, so you could always just play the white ones instead of the black ones. Like, I don't know. It probably would be worse than this for sure. But like, it's just an idea that I think could be reasonable. Is it time to cast this Phantom down? I'm gonna have to cast down one of these. This one gains life. I don't know. We'll cast it. And I realize you'd be losing a lot with black. So again, it would be a worse version for sure. But like, could it still be an interesting functional deck? Could be kind of a cool thing to explore. And especially with like the Abandoned Attachments, which doesn't need black. That's a nice addition. Yeah, I don't know. They are swinging. I don't think I'm going to cast this down yet. There's a Squadron Hawk. Okay, so that's going to be 3 birds here. I didn't think there were white Eidolons. I only remember Dimir ones. No, there's a full cycle of them, all 5. And I mean, they all have different like activated abilities, but obviously the main reason you play them is the same triggered ability they all have. See what you mean? Deck could be fun. Yeah, it could be interesting. I mean, I like the Dimir version a lot. I just am always interested in trying new things out. Okay. Is it worth casting down here at the end step? I'm going to have to if I want to attack with everything anyway. And if I draw a Lorien, I'm going to want my mana. So I think I will. Escape Tunnel. That does not do anything. If we could just found a way to discard another spirit, then I could hit for 7 and this can sack for 1. Obviously, if they didn't block. I guess I'll just attack with the big guy now. So I have a blocker for this. If they have like +1/+1, then I can sack this and I can stay alive. Always balancing keeping cards in hand with for discard spells with having enough lands on the field for a Lorien to be as powerful as possible. But I think 1 land in hand is probably fine. They get an Inspector, crack a clue. Yep, there's the Aurora Eidolon. Prevent the next 3 damage to be dealt to any target this turn. They all have relevant abilities. They're just not the best thing ever. We'll take 2 here. Snacker blocks. That's something. Let's attack with a Sifter, which is now lethal. Yep, Verdant adds 3 mana of any one color, and you have to pay a green for it. Yeah, not great. They're chumping. Snacker. Oh, Snacker is great. I forgot that I had one of these in the yard, so that brings that back. And might as well cast that as another blocker. Oh, that means I should have attacked with this guy. So they took it, then with the Escape Tunnel next turn, we'd have lethal. Hopefully that won't bite us. Swing with the Hawks. I'm going to block one of them. Trade. Okay, I go to 1. Skyfisher. Yeah, buys a new card with the Inspector. Or Journey to Nowhere's this. Yeah, they'd still just have another guy to deal with. Inspector. Crack a clue. I'm realizing that I could have played this a lot smarter. So if I had sacked the Eidolon, the black one, to have drained them for 1 before I cast the Snacker, then I could have brought it back and cast that instead of the Enigma. They'd be at 3. Then I could escape tunnel here for 2 unblockable, hit for 2, and then sack it. Now they might have a prismatic strands, but if they don't, that's a great draw again. Then it would be really good. I want to use that to get in with these guys this turn, like kill the Skyfisher, but then I'm at risk of dying. Plus, again, they might have the prismatic strands just to survive here. We'll just swing with this guy. I swear I looked into this and couldn't find him. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, sometimes things are hard to find or slip through the cracks or whatever, but I was honestly just thinking about it like yesterday when I was putting this deck list together, and thought that there was a full cycle, but I couldn't remember for sure, and so I looked it up, and that's why I knew they were there. Well, shrink this, kill this. Hope for no Guardian's Pledge for like the 4th turn in a row. All right, we won against Waiweenie. Nice, kind of close, but the Agony Warp's doing tons of work here. Also, I just put up a video today of my run from Saturday in the Championship Pauper Finals thing. I did pretty well in it. I was playing Black Sack, of course, so make sure to check that out if you haven't. After the stream, of course. Green one actually seems pretty decent. Net 2 mana is not bad as an AA, even if it costs 4. I mean, as far as they go, it's it's not the worst ability ever, but it's just, if you're trying to like ramp into something, a 4-drop that you have to sacrifice just to net 2 mana as like a really bad Dark Ritual is just kind of rough. Crystal Eye plays Azorius Familiars, so we'll see how this one goes, but we have the turn 2 Snacker, which can start putting up some damage. Cycle Alorian, play a Chancery. Yeah, we're just going to discard Snacker, bring this back and pass. Do you think this Eidolon deck is actually good or just for fun? I mean, I don't think it's the best deck ever. It's not going to, it's not tier 1 or even 2 probably. It's got quite a few weaknesses and things like that. I think that you can play just about any deck that's, cohesive and, optimized for what it's trying to do. And you can do well. Like, I think you could build this in paper, take it to a local event, and not easily, but I think you could 3-0 or 4-0 or something like that. So I think it's a functional deck. I don't know if it's going to be winning any challenges or anything like that. I don't think it's that good. So I would call it mostly a for fun deck, but I also think that people group those a little bit too separately, where it's like it's only for fun and that means it's bad, or it's a good deck. And again, like, I think if you learn any deck really well, then you could get you could get 5-0s with the deck. You could even maybe win challenges if you do really well with it. If you learn a deck really well and learn its ins and outs. But obviously, if it's a deck that is generally worse or not as strong, it's going to be harder to do those things. So, yeah, if your primary goal is to win an event, I would say this is probably not the deck for you. But if you want to have a fun deck while also, it's not terrible, it could still do well, I think it's not a bad one at all. I think Abandoned Attachments definitely makes it less of a meme, but it's not Usurping Terror or anything. Yeah, exactly. It's not going to become the new best deck. It's not going to be in the top 10 decks. But I think Abandoned Attachments is going to be crazy good. I was just talking to my brother the other day. We were talking about potential cards that could be playable from the set, and I think Abandoned Attachments is going to become an instant staple in the format. Not because of this deck necessarily. I think the Dimir Snacker control deck might want it, and it could be play it well. I've seen people already trying to put it and Dimir Snacker or a Sneaky Snacker in like Mono Blue Terror. I think that could be kind of cool. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. Mystic's annoying. But yeah, Abandoned Attachments I think is going to be a really good card and does make the deck quite a bit better. But I also think they have a counterspell here probably. Pauper is still, even though it's growing, a relatively small format, and even the most played decks like a Jund Wildfire sees innovations after a year, like with the Gixian Infiltrator, and it wasn't that it was, it just no one had thought about doing that before, and suddenly they do, and it's really good in the deck. So if a deck that's played by hundreds of people, if not thousands, is doing that well, and then still has innovation so long after, I feel like it's pretty obvious that a deck like this that's not seeing play by almost anybody is probably not in its optimal form. There's probably tons of innovation to do with it, and so if this is a deck that's already doing okay, if you could do even better with it, then the more people work on it, the better the deck could be. So, I think this is probably like 60% its most effective at the moment. Okay, so we get to attack here and just pitch our guys because they're kind of free. I could Dahada's Ploy to pitch the Eidolon for an extra 2. I think that's probably not necessary. I think I'm going to brainstorm here, though. Brings back our snacker, and if I find another Eidolon, it would be a free discard, but instead we find Shipwreck Sifters. That's not bad either. It's turn 4, so I've already played a land. Let's play these 2, or put those 2 back. They could just have a snap, obviously, if I went for even more damage, but 8's still a good amount here. Shipwreck Sifters. If I play that, yeah, I think I can play one of these just fine. I mean, Black Sack is a deck that didn't exist till 2024, and most of those cards have been legal for years. Yeah, I mostly agree with that. I will say the current iteration of Black Sack plays a lot of cards that I think discarding this is probably best. A lot of the fodder creatures have actually been printed relatively recently, which is part of why I think the deck's taken so long to become a thing. Like Infestation Sage was only printed last November or whatever with Foundations. Nezumi Linkbreaker was only a short time before that in Thunder Junction in 2024. And yeah, so those were both in the last like year and a half. And I don't think the deck functions the same without them. Nested Shambler was Modern Horizons 2, so that's been a couple of years. And Shambler Ghast was, 2020 with Forgotten Realms, so that's been a while. But yeah, I think a lot of the fodder has been actually relatively new. But yes, the rest of the shell has been around for a while, and it took people a while to get there too. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the decks that we have that are really good probably still have it. Like Sleep of the Dead wasn't seeing play in Terror until this year, I think, right? Like early this year, and it's an incredible card in that deck that people just didn't know about or didn't try. So like, I feel like almost every deck we have in the format probably has an innovation lying somewhere that just someone hasn't found yet. Okay, we're having some trouble for sure. I can attack in, they can just block, but I can trade, bring them back probably. That's not the end of the world. So yeah, let's swing for 4, trade with one of them, and then I kind of want to get the Hounds down again. I also kind of want to get the Shipwreck Sifters going. I guess we'll cast this. Another Sifters. I guess the more of them we have, the better. I'm going to discard this Hounds, actually, and I'm going to cast another Sifters here. And that's going to bring this back. So I guess I discard this Brainstorm because I don't need it now. And I'd rather keep the multicolored card and the Lorien. A Ghostly Flicker. Yeah, I mean, we don't have a lot of interaction in our main deck. We have, some cast downs, some counter spells, but we don't have a ton. So it's going to be pretty hard to fight this, I will say. I have a Meeting of Minds. Archaeomancer's pretty good. Gets back the Ghostly Flicker. Ephemerate. Get back Snap as well. Yep. Snap one of these guys. They go for a snacker, sure. They have Ghostly Flicker up. Well, we got a counterspell. That's nice. Well, we're just going to smash in. Block a little bit of everything. So no reason to even grow these because they didn't go for multi-blocks or anything. I think I'm just cycling this Lorien. I don't think I'm going to be able to hardcast it anytime soon. And Dahada's Ploy. Hold up Counterspell. I don't think one Counterspell is really going to do it, but yeah, we might as well. All we're holding up is a draw spell anyway. We might as well get our snackers back and discard these guys, which is growing these. Wildly we matched into Kalikai's and he wasn't the FAMS player. Yeah, true. Good point. I can counter the Ghostly Flicker, but they just have an Ephemerate as well. So I think I think I'd have to just kill the Archaeomancer, actually. They still draw a million cards. And if they have a counterspell for this, so be it. But I think countering this doesn't do anything because they just have an Ephemerate. They have the Prohibit. Alright, we're gonna scoop it up then. We do get Duress, Spell Bombs, and another Last Rites. Oh, also Dispel. Take out the Agony Warp does kill a lot of the things we want to. Yeah, I kind of feel like the Snackers, I mean, there with the Mystic, it's just not very good, but obviously that is something that could happen. I guess they get snapped a lot worse than these guys, though. Maybe for that reason we should keep them in. We gotta cut something. Could just be like that. Yeah, I think we'll try that. Turn 2 Sifters, potentially turn 3 Hounds. Sure, we'll run this. Play an Island, pass. Cycle, play a Sifters, another Hounds. Sure, we'll get rid of the Ploy for now. Preordain. So if we don't draw a Swamp here, I'll probably just cycle Lorien for Aquifer, hold up a Dispel. Then the following turn I can Agony Warp a creature or play a Hounds or something. Ooh, another Sifters. Does make me want to just get another Island so I can play it, but I need the Swamp pretty badly. I assume we're not going to get in for a free damage here, but might as well try. Especially because maybe I'll do that again at some point and then play the Agony Warp to kill it. Could be relevant. Preordain. Chancery. Bounce the Plains. Alright. Counterspell. If I want to hit my lands, I could Dahada's Ploy here. I think I'd probably just play the Hounds and swing. there is a risk if they blocked here that I could discard 3 spirits, and they don't block. All right. I mean, if I had 3 Eidolons, I would probably do that. I guess I would be wasting the pump from the hounds this turn, but I'd be making a 4/5 and eating their creature. Still seems pretty decent to me. Pass. Brainstorm. Brainstorm hopefully hits a land. Yep. I guess so. Doesn't hit a land. I want the creature in hand. I guess Agony Warp. I don't know. I guess I probably don't need 2 counter spells right now this very turn, so I could have put one of those back. We'll swing. They're going to block this time. Yeah, I don't have the 3 creatures to pump, but also they have snap up, so probably wouldn't be smart to do even if I did. Meeting of Minds. Yeah, I guess we're going to let that go. Good news is they don't, it's turn 5. They only have 1 creature on board. Their deck thrives off of a bunch of creatures sitting on the field, so I have an Agony Warp for that, but I kind of think I just want to counterspell. Then if they want to counterspell back, at least they have to use 2 mana, or maybe 1 if it's just a dispel, but usually they play negates and stuff. Prohibit, there we go. I mean, they could still snap here, which would be annoying. Untap their stuff. There's the Warp. Swing with the team. Are you from Dublin? I'm looking for people to play. I am not from Dublin, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll just hit for 2 here. I could Agony Warp to kill the familiar. If they have a counterspell, I can dispel. Then I don't have counterspell for their turn, but it's a lot less scary if they don't have a familiar on board. They could still just land like a Murmuring Mystic, but they wouldn't have a lot of mana. I think I do. Just try to kill this. Ephemerate. Yeah, we'll dispel. Pass. Yep, there's the Mystic we worried about. And a snap. Yep. Seagate Oracle. We know our top card is Last Rites. So I could take away their hand, which might be worth it seeing as they have a Mystic. They're ahead on board, so usually you like to do Last Rites when you're ahead on board. Excuse me. But if we just need to do it so we don't die, could be something to do. Yeah, kind of feels like we need to. And I guess the hounds, well, definitely these. Feels like we kind of need a hounds to actually win here. I guess we'll get rid of the attachments. Archaeomancer, Lorien, Muldrifter. I mean, those are pretty good ones to get rid of. Preordain's a pretty good top deck, though, especially with a Mystic out. Into a Seagate Oracle. All right, I gotta just play this. Problem is we haven't hit any of our Eidolons either, because if we had a bunch in the graveyard then bring them back with a Dahada's Ploy, we could actually set up a pretty nasty hounds, but we're just not anywhere close. And they top decked a Meeting of Minds. Yeah, all gas. Mystic might not be the best creature, but I think the most terrifying in Pauper. As in, oh no, I need to kill that right now. I agree. I think I've said something similar where it's like, it hits the field and it is the most, like, I need to answer it right now or we're going to lose 100%. I'm just going to blow up their graveyard. I need to draw something. Even if it's a land, at least I'm hitting some land drops because I've also been stuck on lands for a while. And we're still getting rid of good stuff. Okay, we get a cast down. I guess I cast down. If they have a counter spell, it's pretty bad, because I could hold it up for next turn, but I kind of can't let them get any more birds, it feels like. We're going to do it in their upkeep. Cast down the Mystic. There it is. It's gone. I mean, now that it's gone, only 3 birds. Not the end of the world. We could still potentially win this since they only have 1 card in hand. Agony Warp. I think I'm just discarding that to a Dahada's Ploy. Discarding the Eidolon. I think, yeah, even just land drops so I can find like a Lorien would be good. 3/4, so if they block everything on it, it would die. Don't want that. LOL, and they only got 3 birds. No, I know. It's quite a bit of value still, but it's a lot better than them having like 15 birds, which could also have happened. We're also nowhere close to keeping this around for like a 1-shot kill, so we're just going to sack it for a land. All right, this land. Yeah, we're still just playing for Loriens. I mean, they've been breaking the last couple turns. I need that to kind of keep happening and us to draw a little better. At least Terror can be chumped or die in combat. Mystic needs targeted removal. Yeah, that's the other thing. Mystic is like an enchantment that just sits on the field, and its text is all that matters. Obviously, the fact that it's killable as a creature is relevant, but otherwise, yeah, pretty scary. Wonder if a Simic ramp deck would be worth it. Arbor Elf package, turn 2 Mystic. Bunch of spells that make creatures. Yeah. Snap on a Oracle. I think I'm just going to counter that. Just not let them get anything else. Could be fun. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think they have the prohibit. Well, we're gonna counter. Yeah, I think it's not a bad idea. I think turn 2 Mystic could be the worst thing ever. Like, yeah, especially if you're playing cantrips and stuff like that. You may discard a card. Yeah, we're gonna wait a turn. What am I trying to say? If you turn to a Mystic and have no protection, it could just get cast down. But obviously if it doesn't, then like, yeah, you're just in an insane spot. So yeah, that could be kind of cool. Sounds fun, also disgusting, yeah. Well, they got the Archaeomancer, so now they can snap. Probably just do that on a Seagate Oracle again. Yep. If it lives, it's GG. Yeah, that's probably true. If you have a bunch of counter spells in your deck too, from then on, yeah, you just protect it and you'll be good. I wanted to try this deck with the new lesson. How does it do? I think the new lesson's really good. It's yeah, it lets you do the turn 2 discard a snacker to get it right back in blue, which it didn't have before. And it's instant speed, which has kind of been incredible to like hold it up as an instant speed trick to like buy back your Eidolons and stuff. And yeah, it's really good. And Vanny is raiding with Party 13. Welcome. Thanks for that. How was the stream? Doing more Coggates, I assume. They have no cards in hand. I mean, I really want to get this attachments off, but I don't think I can justify discarding a counter spell. So let's just pass and hope we top deck. Oh wait, what am I doing? I totally forgot. We have an Eidolon in the graveyard. So I can cast this, it'll come back, and then I can discard it to that. So let's do that actually. And I don't have any snackers in the yard, so we might as well just fire it off. I tested abandoned attachments in Coggates, but it doesn't seem it's the right home. Yeah, I could see that. Ephemerate. We're testing it right now in Dimir Spirits. We're going to counter that, obviously. Have a good stream yourself. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. So this comes back, and then I discard it. Yeah, so I could have done this a couple turns ago. That was a mistake. I mean, new card, still figuring it out. Double island, or double land is also not quite what we wanted to see. Last Rites is really useless at this point. I mean, if they get like a Muldrifter Ephemerate, it's really good, but like, I don't know. We need to draw cards. I'm still playing lands because I think it would be better if I hit a, if I hit a Lorien Revealed. I'm going to attack here because if they want to kill it, they have to block 5 creatures, including the Archaeomancer on it, and they're not going to be willing to lose the Archaeomancer. There's no way. So I can start attacking, I think. Seagate Oracle, that's a really good draw. Any creature that also draws a card is exactly what they want here. Snap on the Seagate Oracle. That's interesting. With an Ephemerate in the graveyard, I assume they'd want to snap the Archaeomancer and play that again, but because then I probably just lose. But I guess this is safer in case I had a removal spell. I don't know, 4/5, cast down. They have 1 card in hand. We're gonna swing. Now they can block 5 without using the Archaeomancer, but if they do that, I could then just cast down a Seagate Oracle and kill a couple guys. So yeah, we're gonna pass here. Dahada's Ploy. All right, we're gonna cast that. Trigger this. Always bring it back. They have a negate. Okay. Not the end of the world. I can just cast it again, and this still comes back. I'm just going to play a Swamp. Yeah, I'm just going to cast again right now. So discard, triggers this, comes back, discard it again. Spell Bomb. Yeah, that's a good draw. Play that so that they can't use Archaeomancer if they get another Ephemerate or something. Attack for 6. This did tap me out of the cast down, but since the Archaeomancer is the scariest thing anyway, I'm not as worried if I have the Spell Bomb down. My list is quite different to yours, interestingly. Oh yeah? What do you have in your list? If I just get 1 creature in hand, which I guess I've had 1 and I keep discarding it, but I could start attacking with the Hounds. I'm just worried if I attack with the Hounds now, they like double block with Seagate Oracles and then I don't have a way to keep it alive. Yeah, you can post the link. I'll take a look at it. There's another familiar. Yeah, I mean, they already had 2. What's one more? Shipwreck Sifters. Let's play that. Discard land, play this, swing, and pass. Your list real quick. Mistvein Border Post, Mob Lookouts. I did have those in the previous version and took them out. Yeah, it's not too different. Oh, Cram Session in the main deck with an extra attachments in the sideboard. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool tech. They got a Lorien Revealed off the top. That's a pretty good draw. Into a Muldrifter. And this is all super cheap because of the Sunscape Familiars. Yeah, we are now losing, I believe, massively. Like, we were already a little behind, but now it's just Mortuary Mire on the Mystic. I'm definitely going to Spellbomb that. If they have an Ephemerate for the Archaeomancer in response, I can cast down. We'll play Lorien's good. The Mob Lookouts weren't great. They were okay. They weren't terrible, but I felt that I needed to make room for the abandoned attachments, so they were the cut there. But I just felt like the fact that they were multicolored is cool, the Connive's good, the counter's decent, but then they're just an 0/3 body that's kind of irrelevant in most matches. Like, obviously, if you're against Rally or something, it's great, but otherwise it's not amazing. So I didn't love them as much, and but I'm just testing out the abandoned attachments, so it's possible that they're still better or something. I don't know. Well, they negate that. I guess I'll go for a Lorien. Outpost is an interesting include. The Border Posts, yeah. Meeting of Minds, which is 1 blue mana, and by that I mean 1 tapping of a creature. You can attack here. Low cost multicolored card that allows you to run less lands, more space around the... Yeah, that's an interesting thought, actually. I guess I'll discard this to kill the Seagate Oracle. Yeah, they kind of take the place of a land, but it is a multicolored spell. That's actually some interesting tech. Could be worth exploring for sure. We take out 2 or 3 lands, swap them for Border Posts. We're not a deck that has artifacts otherwise, so we're not really at risk of like getting blown out by artifact removal, really. They were pretty good in an old version I was running like a year ago. Nice. Another Mystic. Yeah, actually that's something I hadn't thought of. I bet it could be really good. Last Breath. Sure. I can't grow it in response, so that's got to be fine. They're attacking with everything. I guess I should Last Rites first to discard like a card or two to try to get counter spells, ephemerates, and stuff like that. Then I can Lorien. They just have a Lorien. Sure. That's it. Cast this. Catch you later. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. See you later. I guess I cast down the Mystic and attack with this guy. They take it. We know their cards are double Chancery, although double Chancery can bounce the Mire, which can get the Mystic back, so not really sure how we do this, unless we find like a second escape tunnel. Yeah, I mean, we're also dead pretty soon. Second escape tunnel on this and enough spells to make it enough creatures to make it lethal. Seems tough. Might have attacked with the Hound too. Yeah, well, I just attacked with the Hound last turn, and then it allowed them to attack for 3 extra damage here. And we actually are at a pretty, like, they have a lot of damage on us, so I just felt like it probably wasn't worth it. But it could be now. I mean, these 2 Eidolons, I can grow this. I mean, they're going to block with something, but I can gain some life. Yeah, I mean, don't think there's any way I can kill here, but I want to discard these before I cast this, so. You can use blue Eidolon to mill them. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. They block. Sure, yeah. I guess in that case, I want to pump here. Yeah, good point. Cast this. Mill for 3. Cast this. Bring it back. We have 10 cards. Brainstorm. Duress. Do we play a land? Let's put back this and this. Play a land. Play a Sifters. Discard. Yeah, I forgot about the mill mode. Definitely we could mill twice next turn if we have the mana. 4, 5. We don't quite have the mana to do that, I don't think, because I have to cast Attack with the Crew. 13 mana, yeah, 5/5 in the hottest ploy, and I have 12, so I'm 1 short. They block. Discard here, play this, mill. I don't know how many Ghostly Flicker. Like, if they have another Ghostly Flicker, they can also Mortuary Mire in, like, their upkeep to make sure they don't die to it. But I guess I might as well hold the Duress. Let's do this. What do they got? Negate? Sure. Yeah, maybe should have just Duressed first, but I guess I did want to see what I was going to draw. Bring this back. Oh, but I don't gain life because of that, which means they have 7 damage on us. So I have to play one of these guys to not die because they just have 7 damage. I was expecting to gain some life there, and obviously since I didn't, if they have a way to remove this and I didn't have the extra mana to sack it, like, they could just kill me. They would need a snap or something. Attack. I will block. Go to 1. And I just replay this. I guess I don't need to attack. I can play this, not that it should matter. Pass, and if they had the Mortuary Mire, I could mill after that. Okay, yeah, good call on the milling. We have 4 minutes left, which is going to be kind of tough to win, but I guess, I thought I also only had 1 left. Because I had pulled these out. I was just saying how the blue ability never comes up, and obviously it did there. So maybe I should have that one instead. We just need aggression. Yes, that was only game 2. Welcome to Azorius Familiars, being a very slow deck to play against. I feel like we're not probably going to actually be able to mill them again. I almost feel like Snackers, just to have more aggression, might be valuable. Imagine playing Familiars. It is an interesting concept. Argument for playing 3 of each Eidolon. Yeah, like I was just mentioning at the beginning that, like, there were 3 of each, and I swapped an extra black one in for a blue one because this doesn't come up very often. Maybe if it does more often. Like, I've had 5 or 6 games in the few leagues that I've played where I've wanted to sack the Eidolon for an extra life. And this is the first game that I've had where I wanted the blue one, to be fair. But to be honest, that kind of situation is too rare for it to matter. Exactly. So I still think 4 and 2 is probably the correct split. But obviously there would have been nice to have a second one or whatever, or even a third. Yeah, I kind of feel like I just need to go a little faster and take out some of the slower stuff. I don't know what that would be. Like the spell bombs are like late game stuff for the Archaeomancers. Not that I want to take out all my removal or anything. I just need to go fast. Cut like a Lorien, one of the last rites. Sure. Just try to cut some of the higher end stuff. Keep the abandoned attachments and the snackers as a fast clock, potentially. This one is not going to work, obviously. Well, I'm going to keep this. We need to find some stuff desperately. But the Vampire Hounds could be the fast clock we're looking for. Obviously, that's not what we like to see them starting out with. Just pass. Don't think I'm going to brainstorm here. We're just going to wait a while to use that, so I'm just going to get a Hounds down. They have Sunscape Familiar, a Preordain. Yeah. This almost makes me feel like this is kind of their ideal start. almost makes me want to just like brainstorm, look for a cast down, but if we don't hit it, we just kind of waste our turn. I think it's better to get the hounds down, but it could be rough. Obviously giving them a creature lets them snap, good for them, but I can't do much about it. We have 2 Dahada's Ploys, so if we just start finding some of our Eidolons, then we could, assuming they don't have much interaction, we could get there. Yeah, I guess we'll just attack. If they block, I probably won't activate, because I'm going to expect that they'll try to snap in response. Yeah, so I'm just going to play another Hounds. They're going to meeting in response? Sure. Maybe I should do it then. It feels like that, I don't know, without me activating it, I don't know. There's no reason. Let's just do this. And pass. Escape tunnel. I'm going to have to sacrifice for land. We'll just have to hope to find another one later if that's something we want. Alright, Mystic's pretty bad. Pull out an island. And sure, start with a Duress. Prohibit. Yeah, I guess maybe I brainstorm. I'm going to brainstorm anyway, so I might as well do it here. In case I find a counterspell and want to use it, which I don't know if I really do. Actually, I put back a land. I probably didn't want to do that. Yeah, let's just actually Shipwreck Sifters to get that land. Play that. And I guess we're not attacked. Seagate Oracle. Yeah, it could have been better to counterspell the Prohibit, because then we could have duressed something. I don't know. They only have a couple cards left in hand, so maybe it's not a big deal, but let's Dahada's Ploy and pass. Yeah, I guess this is obviously worse when you get rid of some of the Eidolons, which is they're exactly what I need right now, and I can't find them because I have 5 in the deck. I cut 1, I think, but still, I'll take a damage. Play a Mire for no value. Interesting. I guess we're gonna pass and upkeep, shoot the Mystic, counterspell the Snap, and they have a negate. Okay, pretty good. They can even replay the Mystic right away, which I can maybe, and they the Snap on tap, so they didn't even waste any mana. Chancery, bounce the Mire. Tough matchup. Yeah, I think it's probably unfavored for sure. And obviously I'm having to, yeah, it's not great. Having to play a little fast, probably not thinking everything quite through, but I'd rather not time out. They pull up a Prohibit. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get through this one now. Prohibit, Mystic in hand, cast a Dahada's Ploy. There's that, which I guess I hold. So discard the attachments. Swing with the team, finally. They make some blocks. If I was killing everything already, obviously I wouldn't pump, but I'd rather kill this Seagate Oracle, so we'll just pump there. Counterspell for the Mystic. They have the Prohibit, but what are you going to do? Then we can cast it down ideally without it triggering at all. Wishful thinking. Animal Drifter. Well, maybe it won't trigger. There'll just be other things to deal with. Mire back in Oracle. Last Rites. That's not very good. We'll swing with the team. I'm trading, so I'm going to Dahada's Ploy here, which brings this back. Unless I get an untapped Swamp. Yeah, I'm losing the ability to kill the Mystic by doing this, but I kill a familiar, so it's something. Another familiar, sure. Seagate Oracle. I'm going to just cast the attachments here before they've potentially picked up a thing. We get to bring these back. Discard. Draw. Snap on the Archaeomancer. Replay. Find a negate. Swing. They block both. I should have discarded this already, but that's okay. To trigger this, they have a negate. So we'll do this in their upkeep. Cast down the Mystic. Tap their Chanceries. That feels like they have a snap then. Okay, they let it go. Interesting. Chancery for the Mire. Sure. Swing with the Flyers. Swing with our team, block these guys, discard here, and hit for 8. Kill the Archaeomancer. Yes. They have the snap, and they have the negate, which we know about, so that's annoying. Yep. Could have waited till their turn to do it, but it wouldn't make a difference, really. Replay that. Gets back. Prohibit. Mire's back the Mystic. Swing with the team. They don't block. I'm not sure this is enough damage. Haven't really counted, but we'll deal them 21. Oh, come on, dude. Maybe should have counted. It wouldn't have made a difference. Oh, yeah. Why didn't I cast the Lorien first? Because then I could have had another creature. That was so stupid. I mean, I don't know if they would have not blocked. I don't know. But that was an interesting choice of mine to not cast that first. Now they gotta block everything and they're gonna do it. That was not the right one to discard, but that's fine. I mean, I have 4 attackers. I only have 2 blockers. Is there any way I could possibly do this? I should probably cast the Lorien first, but we also only have 16 seconds, so I'm kind of trying to go fast here. They have a Last Breath. I gotta counter that. And if they have anything else, then it's not gonna work. Prohibit. Yep, that's annoying. Gotta count. Yeah, I just... I won. Oh, my heart is racing. 1 second left. Yes. So yes, that was something to learn. Got to count. I was obviously under a little bit of pressure with the time. I didn't feel like I had time to count, but there really wasn't a reason to not cast the Lorien first. I just was trying to get in there, and I didn't really think they would not block. Right? I thought they would have thrown something in front of the 10 power creature if they double block 2 at a time. Yeah, that is possible. Oh, well, we got there. We got there, folks. We got there. Go take a breather after that one. Yeah, but I gotta finish out the game, you know? I mean, the league. That guy's monitor is definitely punched. Yeah, I've been on the receiving end of that. It is, you know, where they win with 1 second left or whatever. It is brutal. Also, they were really close to timing out too. Obviously, we were going to time out first. But we started that game and I had 4 minutes and 20 seconds or something. And they had 8 minutes. And they got below 1 minute. So, you know, I don't know what my point is. But, you know, we played very fast. I played fast and I, you know, tried to F6 every time I could. I bet that guy wins 10% of his matches due to timeout. I mean, yeah, when you play a deck like that, you're often going to be winning because of timeout. Unfortunately. That's one reason I've stopped really liking decks like Gardens, is that timeout is just, even when I play Gardens, I don't usually time out, and my opponent doesn't usually time out, but, it happens sometimes, and it's not my favorite thing. This hand is so good if we can get an island. We have 2 draws, because then I can go Snacker, but we also have, I guess it's not the best thing ever, because we're going to use this on the Snacker, and then I don't have any way to get these back. It's still pretty good, but we'll ship it, I guess. Alright, this one's pretty similar, and we have 2 lands now. Here comes the one-lander. No. Not today. Not today. This is not a one-lander deck. I mean, this is the one-lander if you want to, you know, look at that. There's only 1 land in this hand. Stop trying to make me make poor decisions. Kind of want to get rid of the Agony Warp here, but I mean, we'll see what they're playing, because obviously if they're Red Rally, Agony Warp's great. In which case I'll just get rid of an Abandoned Attachments. Well, we've almost played 1 league, and I can confirm this card, pretty dang good. I didn't really consider, because I just didn't think through every possibility of it, but the you may discard a card is super relevant in certain matches, right? If you want to discard the Snacker even if it gets countered, then it's bad, but it's actually really good in this one because it allows you to rebuy, just by casting it, rebuy your Eidolons and then discard them, which you couldn't do if it had to be an additional cost. So yeah, this card is money in this deck, I think. Cash. Alright, our opponent just giving us a little head start on the clock. This will make it harder for us to go down to 1 second on time, which I appreciate. I mean, they mulliganed, so they were in here for a second, because I will say Magic Online's been just having a lot of issues recently with not letting people join matches, kicking people out, and stuff like that. So I have a few, let's call them scuffed videos coming up where things like that happened. So it's possible they're just having issues. All right, here they are. Keep, I said, you know, I'll decide if I want to keep this after I know what they're playing, as if I could choose to do that. I think I'm going to get rid of it, and because I think the attachments just looks really good, even the second one with Snacker and Sifters in hand, so we'll just hope they're not on Rally in before Great Furnace Tomb Raider. Come on, Merc, where are you at? Plains and Armadillo. Okay, so having interaction would be nice, but I will say Agony Warp, probably not going to be the most impressive against them. But we have a couple cast downs and some counter spells. Hopefully that can be decent enough. We're going to cycle Lorien, obviously, for an island here. And then probably just abandon attachment Snacker. Could get the Shipwreck Sifters down. If I draw a Spirit, an Eidolon specifically, probably will discard play that so it can start growing. All right, they have the Wonder Weave Aerialist. Look at us. Just a couple of new hybrid pals. Playing some brand new hybrid cards. Oppo must be multitasking like crazy over there. Yeah, they could be double queuing or something. But definitely a little annoying to be waiting 7 minutes before I can take my turn too. They're playing Pauper and solving integrals, I guess. Yeah, that would explain it. I mean, even if they are double queuing with white heroic, you should be able to, they must be triple queuing or something. It shouldn't be taking this long. You have 1 or 2 spells to cast a turn. Game's go on 4 or 5 turns at max. Cast down's a good draw. I can't use it now because of the ward, even if I wanted to. Yeah, I think we just go for the attachments here. Discard Snacker. Discard Snacker. Comes back. Another cast down. Alright. I mean, if we can, get a land, and then, cast down on 3, cast down on 4, could be cool. Obviously, we're happy to chump block with Snacker whenever necessary. I feel like if they're doing something other than playing Pauper, they should just be doing that. They don't need to queue into a match. And if they are double queuing, I feel like it's kind of disrespectful to make your opponent wait this long while you're doing nothing. So Not loving it either way. There's a Hyena Umbra and a Sentinel's Eyes. Well, Umbra makes cast down a little harder, so I'll be chump blocking, and you get down to Sifters. Doesn't do a ton right now. I could just hold up a Ploy / like Lorien Revealed. Yeah, I think we'll just pass. I mean, if they try to suit up the Armadillo here to try to have two lethal attackers, not lethal, but two strong attackers, then I can cast this one down because it's only ward 1, whereas this one is ward 2. Ethereal Armor, that's pretty good. We do have some Extracted Confessions in the sideboard, which will obviously be pretty strong here. I think I'm going to cycle the Lorien and abandon attachments. This way I can confirmed have a 4 mana so that next turn I can cast down and the following turn I can also cast down, because we have to do 2 through the Hyena Umbra. I'm just hoping that their last card plus the couple cards on top of their deck are not going to be another Hyena Umbra or protection in any way. But if they're not, I think I can certainly have a shot to survive here. With that deck, they don't need a lot of time to win a match anyway. Yeah, I mean, that's part of why I think they're probably double queuing, is that most people who do that play decks, you know, a lot of mono red or this deck that does not take a lot of time or thinking. And so I would not be surprised if that's what they're doing. That said, if they are, they're kind of bad at it. I mean, we're on turn 4 and they've taken 10 minutes. Like, if I'm able to take a game off of them somewhere, they might run out of time at this rate, seeing as they've already used 40% of their time to deal 4 damage. Yeah, I think we just chump block here. Obviously, then I can get this back sooner, and yeah, I can't get it back within attachments this turn, so I could just ploy, and then I could attachments on my turn. I don't think that's what we want to do. I think we're just doing this, discard the Sifters, because I don't think I need that. Okay, we do get an island, but I'm still going to cycle this for another. Maybe I just go for an Aquifer, but Counterspell's a good draw, actually. I don't know if I'll be able to use it because I need to spend 4 mana to cast this down once and then again. But, well, like if they did a Protection from Black thing here with like a Benevolent Blessing, then I could Counterspell that. Crow and Skyguard. That's totally fine. Heavy on the creatures. Okay, so now I get to cast this down. I do it now because the Hyena Umbra does pump it a little bit, so I'll take 1 less damage. Oh, 2 less damage because the Ethereal Armor, right. And then I'm just going to do it while they're tapped out, because otherwise they could get a protection spell. Now, Agony Warp, unless they can double grow the Skyguard, should be able to deal with it, ideally. That's the hope. Sentinel's Eyes, oh, of course. Yeah, they could get that from the graveyard. That's always really good. So if they can grow it again, then I can't Agony Warp it. Yeah, that's annoying. Take 5. Oh, if I'd gotten that Aquifer earlier, I had that extra mana, then I could double Agony Warp and I'd be okay. But now I'm going to die. I mean, I can hold up Counterspell, but it gets a counter by just targeting it, which they have a Homestead Courage. And this gains me 1 life. Cast down. Oh boy. Okay, well then now I'm going to have to cast it down, so I'm not going to need the Agony Warp. Let's discard this. I get back the Snacker. I have to hold up Counterspell to get this Courage and just hope that they don't have any other spell. But they haven't played lands, so they have to have 2 spells in hand. So that seems unlikely. Maybe it's more creatures, but yeah, I guess going for the landscape would have been right, because we had a turn to play it and everything. Got a Counterspell. Otherwise, Spirit Link, that's going to trigger it. Yeah. Well, we get Duress, Extract a Confession, Last Rites, and Fumes can hit this Skyguard before it grows. I don't know if we want that. Keep all our removal. I kind of think the whole Eidolon package just doesn't matter that much here. If we can kill their creature, we're kind of fine regardless. But obviously that makes the Hounds worse and the Sifters worse. Yeah. I guess we'll leave like 3 of them. Cut down on these guys a little bit. But mostly we just want removal, interaction, like hand attack, and jump blockers and snackers. That's a 1-lander we're not going to keep. Alright, we have Extract. That's really good. Agony Warp can kill, I mean, not the 0-4, not the Wonder Weave, but it can kill like the Crow and Skyguard if they have that, and then this Extract can be saved for a bigger thing. I kind of think I just don't want the Vampire Hounds. I want my lands. Snacker's good, and I want the removal, so yeah, Hounds is going to go. Well, they got 11 and a half minutes left to win a game, so we'll see if they do that. Alright, play an island and pass. Probably should have just played the Escape Tunnel, and didn't need the... I'm not going to need the Unblockable. I guess if I get a Brainstorm, maybe it's better this way, but... Alright, they get the Trailblazer. I could just extract that, but I'm obviously going to wait until it has a little bit more value. Ghost Allison has subscribed with Prime. Thank you very much for that. I hope the Hedron serves you well. Alright, I'm just gonna snacker. There's the area list. Ooh. Okay, yeah, we're gonna play Escape Tunnel so that next turn I can maybe Agony Warp this if it's not too big, and I'm gonna Duress here. So Benevolent Blessing, that one probably need to take. Homestead Courage, double Sentinel's Eyes. So they can grow this to be like a 4/4. Whichever one they grow big enough I can extract, though. I'm just hoping that it would be this one, because then this one, yeah. Yeah, I mean, these also both have Flashback and Escape. So certainly I might as well just take the one that doesn't have that and gives protection. I assume they'll give this a counter and this. Yeah, grow this and then this. Perfect. So I can kill this and then I can extract on the other one. They have another Trailblazer too. I'm going to kill this turn. So I think I just take it. I don't think I chump here. Sack, get another swamp. Usually you want to go more blue, but just in case I need to like cast 2 of these at once. So if they get a Benevolent Blessing, I might want to use this later. Or not, I might want to use it now. They are still going to have a Trailblazer with 2 Sentinel's Eyes to come back. Yeah, I think it's too bad if they get another Blessing or an Emergent Scathe or something. I think it's just too devastating that I need to get the Agony Warp off now. And we can chump block the Trailblazer and then extract it. Although I actually don't have a ton of toughness, mana value in our graveyard right now, so if they played the other Trailblazer, I might have to wait until I can collect evidence on it yet. Yeah, which they do. Because even if I chump here and I want to get rid of the snacker, that's only 5. This is only 4 damage, though. I'm going to take this hit and hope they don't gain protection again. Dahada's Ploy, that helps. So let's cast that. Yeah, I should have held up Counterspell mana, maybe? I'll discard this, so I can extract if I want to get rid of the Dahada's Ploy. Or I could just chump, but they might pump this one, in which case they're going to have 2, 4 power creatures. I think they're probably going to be smart enough to do that, so I think I do just extract right now, even though I have to lose this Ploy, which is annoying. Hi, I'm mostly a YouTube watcher due to time zones. I'm just here to send the Prime sub. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it. Sorry the time zones make it difficult to watch live, but I appreciate you watching on YouTube, and I appreciate the Prime sub. They're just attacking for 2. I'm definitely going to take that. I assume that means they have an Emergent Scathe for protection that they're... Okay, Solid Footing. Oh, okay, well that's bad. That is actually pretty annoying, because that took a lot of damage now. Should have thought about that. I could hold up Counterspell here for if they get protection. I think we're going to just chance it and tap out with the Lorien, and hope they don't. And then I can hold up Counterspells from now on out, from here on out. Well, kind of. I mean, I have to chump here, and then if I don't get a kill spell, I have to play Hounds just to chump. They got the Mask of Law and Grace, so that's just give protection from black and red. They attack for lethal. I could have held up Counterspell, but then we weren't having the Lorien, and then we'd have to chump anyway, so... Pretty annoying, especially when you take 10 additional minutes for no good reason, but we still got a 3-2 with the deck. We won the match against Azorius Familiars that felt like we had no business winning. Especially when we made a couple misplays due to the time constraint. But yeah, this deck's super fun. Abandoned Attachments I think is really, really strong. I didn't even realize, I was mentioning, I didn't even realize how strong it was to, like, if we had no cards in hand, but you have an Eidolon in your graveyard, you can cast it, bring this back to hand, discard that. So this basically just becomes 2 mana, draw a card, or draw 2 cards, which is really, really strong. So that's really sweet. Obviously the turn 2 snacker's great. It's also just an instant speed way to trigger these, which obviously we already had with Ploy, but having more ways and cheaper can get them out of your graveyard on your opponent's turn before they exile your graveyard or whatever. Yeah, this is a really fun deck. If you want to give it a go, I say go for it. We're going to do another league. As far as the YouTube video goes, though, we're going to wrap that up. Thank you very much for watching if you did on YouTube, and I will see you all next time.